on the street, contain the grind. They don't even keep you inside their mind. Cause when you out of sight, you out of mind. When you out of sight, you out of mind.
Real 215 973, I'm good at any area code where I be. You ain't gaming right if you don't play for keeps, my bitch foe. Oh, and she like the sweet. Real 215 973, I'm good at any area code where I be. You ain't gaming right if you don't play for keeps, my bitch foe. Oh, and she like the sweet. Left the 203, went to 646, it was 347, we was in that bitch. Since 69, we been making hits. Since Pissy Mattresses was making flips. A gourmet dishes, cereal and grits. Empty wallet feeding 50 kids. It's fucked up if that's how we live.
Fucked up if that's how we live.
With a millionaires, they could build Goshen. Always been fluid like I'm from the ocean. I'm always serious, I ain't never joking, not puffed up, but I'm very potent. I'm in your city with the rude boys, so you think it's tough, really true toys. It ain't Bible talk, ain't in the mood for it. And I bully, you better run for it. 215 973, I'm good at any area code where I be. You ain't gaming right if you don't play for keeps, my bitch foe. Oh, and she like the sweet. 215 973, I'm good at any area code where I be. You ain't gaming right if you don't play for keeps, my bitch foe. Oh, and she like the sweet.
Okay, so I wake up in Philly, homie out in Guatemala, other homie in the prison, man, it's all about $1. Then my homie in Chicago, or my man in Nicaragua, take a trip out to Jamaica, or you get them bitches holla. I'm okay out in LA, cause I can speak that guala guala. Go to Florida for a day, hit New York for about an hour, catch me out in Wilmington, or in Northwood, Kawakaball, DC, Baltimore, it's all about $1. I get tickets everywhere, so in VA I need a driver. Got my shorty out in Camden, cook lasagna with ricotta. Got LeBron out in Detroit, I would die in Carolina. You know grinding is the point, but it's not about designer. I'm styling on the joint. The Chronicles of a Prophet. I need something out of Texas. Hey, YAHANNA, I know we got it. Yo, let's get this shit on film. Zabala want get the camera. Let me make one call to Kapasha on Indiana.
215 973, I'm good at any area code where I be. You ain't gaming right if you don't play for keeps, my bitch foe. Oh, and she like the sweet. 215 973, I'm good at any area code where I be. You ain't gaming right if you don't play for keeps, my bitch foe. Oh, and she like the sweet. My bitch foe, oh, and keep her mouth closed. Let she talk to me, she don't like to speak. She wear modest clothes and ain't bother with hoes, plus she ride the dick till it fall asleep. You online talking like you harming me, but in person fabricating harmony. Like Shalom, Yasharel, Yehuda, Aki, I'd have respect if you tried to. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for brotherhood, and it's mainly cause on my brother's hood. But if it's all bad, don't pretend we good, cause if you write you will, then I wish you would. I don't ask for beef, but I am seasoned, nigga.
Whoa, why you tripping?
You need a reason, nigga.
You really love that Bible.
Live and breathe it, nigga.
Look, you cool, but he gay.
I wanna meet them, nigga.
Shit.
215 973, I'm good at any area code where I be. You ain't gaming right if you don't play for keeps, my bitch foe. Oh, and she like the sweet. 215 973, I'm good at any area code where I be. You ain't gaming right if you don't play for keeps, my bitch foe. Oh, and she like the sweet.
Shalom, shalom. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started at 1 West, 125th Street, New York. I.S.U.P.K. is run today by Commanding General YAHANNA. The only name you need to know when it comes to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans leadership. To the brothers. Welcome to our Sunday afternoon's scripture breakdown class. All right. Now, big topic in the West. Today is what? Today is the Queen's funeral, no?
Today or tomorrow?
Tomorrow?
At the 18th or the 19th. Because today are the 18th.
One of them.
Yeah, man. I
thought
think I
it was
19th. I'm not sure, but I'll double check. I remember what the Prime Minister said. 12 day of mourning. No, him said 1 day of mourning on the 19th.
Then drop it from 12
to 1. Gone.
So when are we going to get our 1 day of rejoicing? Yeah, the peer reparation. When are we going to get that 1 day?
Right.
I guess when Christ return.
Tomorrow, sir.
Tomorrow.
Gone.
Tomorrow we're going to get our 1 day of rejoicing.
Gone.
Awesome.
No, tomorrow is the day of the Queen funeral, sir.
Oh. The king to come might be worse.
Gone.
All right. So then we can find something on the Queen funeral. I think today is the day where her grandchildren get to pay their respect.
Okay.
Yeah, man, because you have a live event going on. Here it is. I think this was today. Where her grandchildren get to go and stand by her coffin. All right, this is taken from this was posted in the public's domain by the Telegraph. So this is not our work. We're just showing it for educational purposes.
Right.
All right, this is our grandchildren's opportunity to show their respect. So, but in all our people should watch this, And we're going to get into why they should watch it. When I said this, I mean the Queen's burial.
Gone.
Watch how the royalty is buried, the whole fanfare and thing that is involved in what they call it, a royal funeral. This is bigger than a. Well, I don't know if they call it a state funeral, I don't know if they call it a state funeral, but it's a big event. Big event among the royals. Can't take that away from them. But as for us who are called our subjects, but I wonder which of the subject we are, math or English. So we're telling that English. We are
the math.
We are our patois subject.
Good.
But we need these things imprinted in our mind, because pretty soon that sky is going to be open.
Right.
And with the Ukraine war, they're humiliating the hell out of Putin down there in Ukraine,
Good.
And Putin know that it is the Americans that are behind it.
Good.
Putin knows that. So, all right, that's finished. Can replay? Start it back. I'll go here. Right. Putin know that it is the Americans are behind the thing there. Right. Putin know that is the Americans behind. He knows that he's fighting the Americans' weapons. The question now is he going to step up? Well, he must step up the attack some way or another. Or remove to another country or something. But I don't see him walking away with his tail behind his legs, between his legs, in this war. This is why Americans are blowing the warning about if he uses chemical weapons or tactical nuclear weapons,
Right.
because they see that the weapons that they give to Ukraine is having great effect against them. Well, Putin might just say, yeah, what? Just attack America straight. Anything happen. Yeah, man, just make a one lick and they done. Like, you ever see when a world champ go in the ring with an underdog
Gun.
and the underdog surprisingly just cut him down? Oh, well,
Gun.
Russia is the underdog. America got so much money. America is able to put weapons in the North Pole, South Pole. Well, they claim that they have weapons out of space. That might not be so true. So, in other words, what they're trying to do, if you knock them, give them a nuclear strike and disable them and within their country, missiles from elsewhere can take it.
Right.
But the thing is, all his enemies knows where the other missiles are. So they probably can't knock them out. But you just don't have to have money to make. It's hard to hear you. Somebody saying it's hard to hear me. I don't know why you to be hard. My speakers, the system is full blast. All right, maybe I just need to speak a little louder. All right, so for this reason now, I say that this should be imprinted in the mind of all blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans who are the Israelites of the Bible. Take me to Isaiah 69, 49. All blacks, Hispanics, and Native.
Slovakia. 49.
Khan,
Canada
Isaiah
one.
49, reading 22 to about 26.
Canada one gun. Canada one gun. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 49 and verse 22. Thus saith the Lord God, behold, I will lift up mine hand to the Gentiles and set up my standard to the people, and they shall bring thy sons in their arms, and thy daughters shall be carried upon their shoulders.
All right, so he's saying that he's going to turn his hand on the Gentiles. And these Gentiles, they are going to carry your sons. Carry your sons out.
Another one gun. And they shall bring thy sons in their arms.
When they lift up the baby and put the baby in the arm, so these Gentiles, they're going to carry your sons in their arms. And what else?
And thy daughters shall be carried upon their shoulders.
And they shall put your daughter upon their shoulder, carrying you when you're going into the land. All right? Because Christ, you might not look like it now because, the nations have you in such bondage. That we actually get used to hard life now.
Gun.
Yeah. We believe that if life is not hard, something wrong. That's how our people believe now. All right, the next verse.
Another one, gun. Verse 23. And kings shall be thy nursing fathers, and their queens thy nursing mothers.
All
They
right,
shall bow. Slack it.
continue.
Another one, gun. They shall bow down to thee with their face towards the earth, and lick up the dust of thy feet. And thou shalt know that I am the Lord, for they shall not be ashamed that wait for me.
All right. So, in other words, we not going to. You ever see when a woman, sometimes they have a date with a gentleman, and him say, the man might tell him, say, go at the restaurant or go at a spot and wait for me.
Gun.
And the man don't show up. She wait, and the man don't show up. She leaves that place being ashamed.
Right.
But our scriptures is telling us that we are not going to be ashamed in waiting for Christ,
Right.
because he is going to show. Right? That's what he said, that we shall not be ashamed or what?
Another one, gun. For they shall not be ashamed that wait for me.
They shall not be ashamed that wait for me. So we
Right.
are waiting on Christ and we won't be ashamed. That's what it is telling us. Right? So in other words, we won't be mocked. Lord
Right.
have mercy, my wait upon Christ. Watch out. Like when Elijah was mocking the Baal worshippers.
Gun.
Nah, we won't be mocked like that.
Right.
We won't be ashamed. Right? That's what the scripture is telling us. The entire world will be looking and say, oh, so they were right when they were waiting. Continue, read on.
Another one, gun. Verse 24. Shall the prey be taken from the mighty, or the lawful captive delivered?
All right. So think of a mighty lion out there hunting, right? And in hunting, he caught a prey. The lion out there is the mighty one.
Right.
Now, who can go and take that prey from the lion and catch something to eat? He catch a meal. Can the prey be taken from the mighty? And the mighty one in this case is Christ. And who is the prey? Yes.
We are the prey.
No?
Oh, I mean, the heathens are the prey. Gun.
Right. And one in particular, give it to me, I'm give you a hand. One
Esau.
in he's the main one that the father going after.
Right.
Like when you're attacked by, you ever been attacked by a pack of dogs?
Gun.
And what you do?
Boy, when a dog a rush you, first thing you do is running, because you don't want the dog bite you.
Well, I'm not teach you something. What me used to do. If you're attacked by a pack of dogs, you look for the ringleader.
Okay.
There's
Good.
one out there which is the ringleader, And guess what you do with the ringleader?
Put him down first.
You ignore the others and go straight for the juggler and the ringleader.
Good.
I remember I did that one time. A dog attacked my daughter, my big daughter, when she was a child. The dog run out of the yard with one whole dog behind her. You know what I did? I had on a hard boot. Sad for that dog that day. I had on a hard boot. And when I see him, I make after him. Zoop. Give him a kick right under him chin. Zoop, zoop, zoop. I didn't have to touch the others.
Right.
So when Christ come now, Christ going straight for the juggler. Who is the juggler of the Edens in all now? Esau. When he goes to Babs, right in Esau's neck. All the other Edens are going to say, okay, hands off. Right? So they who will be able to now take Esau's out of God's hand. Look at the power of Esau now. Right? Look at the power of Babylon now. Babylon is so powerful today. I mean, China spend all right, probably about 80% of China's money is spending, investing in other country and economic growth and all that. While America now spend even of the largest. All right, America's military budget is like this. Check the top 10 countries in the world who spend on military, right? Add up their budget each year, all the 10 of them. And America's military budget, including China and Russia, and America's military budget still is more than them.
Gun.
So America is spending heavily on its military. You know, it's like having Hebrew Academy every year. Think of we having Hebrew Academy every year and every man training every year, sharpening up on Mike Tyson up on things. You know, I'm watching a couple of them Mike Tyson shots that they have on YouTube. Mike Tyson was a real champ in his days, you know.
Yes, man. Gun.
Man, that man was really and go in the ring with like a lion.
Gun.
Like a lion who is hungry and hungry. All right. Well, it's the same thing when Christ returns. You know, this is how Christ will be against Esau, Edens in general, but Esau in particular, because he has his military intelligence supersedes all the other countries that are, even the Britain who birthed him, right? America's military. I was watching. I don't remember if I sent it to you. I think I did. Where they were talking about how they're collecting your DNA. They're collecting DNA from baby, from childhood. You're born in the hospital, they get your DNA, draw the baby blood. America was doing this and storing it for up to 23 years with the view to use it to trap criminals.
Okay.
But they go deeper than that now. They do genome sequencing. They do genome sequencing where now they can use your DNA now in a warfare kind of way. So they can this is how they can get like, you know, they have their voice, they have some of them say them voice activated missiles. Like if they track you, they want you and they know that you are within a certain area, so they can tap the cell phones, the landlines, all the telephones, and once you go on the telephone and it pick up your voice, a missile pinpoint where you are.
Okay.
Launches itself.
Yeah.
And comes right in your direction. But them gone deeper than that. All right, verse what that now?
Verse 25.
I want to say 26.
Cancer. It's top at 26.
All right, yeah, read 26.
25. 25 there now.
Yeah, read 25.
Another one can. But thus saith the Lord, even the captives of the mighty shall be taken away, and the prey of the terrible shall be delivered. For I
All
will
right. No, finish. I thought it was finished then.
Another one gone. For I will contend with him that contendeth with thee, and I will save thy children.
All right. So in other words, he is going to fight those who are fighting us.
Right.
This is what, when back in the days, before the North Atlantic slave trade, before the Romans invaded Jerusalem, when this would have been, when Isaiah scroll would have been read, and they read, I will contend with thee, with those who contend with you, they would understand fully what it is saying, because from the day we've been in the land, from the time of the judges, from the time of Joshua, that is how it has been. The Most High contend with those who contend with us. But to us now, being out of the land for over 2,000 years, being in captivity for over 400 years, not being in the presence of God like we are used to. When we read this now, this is like wonder. Like, wow, wouldn't that be good to have him contending with our enemies? You understand? But that's the way it was.
Gone.
So basically, in Isaiah here now, we're reading what is going to happen. Because right up to the time of the Maccabees, that's what was happening.
Right.
They would have been the Most High would have been contending with our enemies. But today now, that's like, it's like a miracle for us. Because who is defending us in this world? Nobody. No, not one single country in the world even want to give us our recognition. Our very own people recognizes ourselves and is being chastised for it, as in the form of Nick Cannon. What's your name again? The one there that hosts The View. What's your name again?
Whoopi Goldberg.
Whoopi Goldberg, Whoopi, Nick Cannon, and some others who come out and say, who realize that they are Israelite and speak. Say, and they don't speak like, give us back our identity, and like we would be blasted.
Yeah.
They just say it, and they are being chastised. So even we are being chastised by this great. That's why the scripture Isaiah call him the great prey, the great what I'm saying, the mighty. That's why it's mighty, because they are indeed mighty. And unless the Most High step in himself this time, all the other time, he would have given us the strength to overpower our enemy. But our enemies have gained so much strength and power that the Most High have to send, Christ himself, who hasn't been in this earth for over 2,000 years, have to come with some technology that is out of this. Well, it's not really out of this world, but it's out of our realm, right? As humans. In other words, technology that is not yet in our hands. Because every country in the past who defeat another country, is when they find something that is more technologically advanced than that they are able to. It is like in the Bronze Age and the Iron Age. When the countries who learn to make iron, when they attack those who are the bronze, when their iron tool, the iron sword clang against the bronze tool, the bronze sword break.
Yeah.
And the shields that were bronze, they broke. And they gained victory. So look at the weapons that Esau have now. What they gave to Ukraine is no, I don't know, great weapon, you know. It's not any great weapon. They have greater weapons than that. They have things that can give Ukraine, which would make Russia really hate America without even giving them nuclear weapons. Right? But the weapons that our father have supersedes anything that Esau's have in his arsenal. Right? And Esau have some terrible weapons there. All right, read the next verse now.
Another one gun, verse 26. And I will feed them that oppress thee with their own flesh, and they shall be drunken with their own blood, as with sweet wine.
Right. Read on, read on.
Another one gun. And all flesh shall know that I, the Lord, am the Savior and thy Redeemer. Slakia, I'm thy Savior and thy Redeemer, the mighty one of Jacob.
Right. So that's how you know that the God that we serve is a real warrior.
Right.
You know, in fighting, you have to know if you are a true warrior, glory is what you seek. The true warrior seeks glory. In other words, yeah, you want to win a fight, but when you win that fight, it must be remembered.
Good.
And why a true warrior seeks glory is that the more glory you have, the less fight you end up have to do.
Good.
Yeah, man. Because if you know that, it's like when Mike Tyson gained his glory and man realized him bad. A man have to train real hard, and you know they have to now give in. That was how money start to spend in boxing, because you have to now pay a man good money to come stand in front Mike, because him know say why now get some beat up, you know, but you collect 130 million, yeah, man.
Good.
Well, the purse wasn't that high in his time, but a man have to look and say, boy, you know, look at him, know him will lose, or the possibility of losing, but what will I gain?
Right.
So this is how now Christ now, when Christ take the glory from Esau, what do you think going to happen? Esau now going to say, the other Edens are now going to say, well, you know, I think it's best we just leave. It's best we just leave those Israelites alone.
Right.
Hi, I'm Steve Clemens, and I have a...
That is what Christ is seeking, and what Christ will be taking. The glory of the other nations. All right. Before we want to have another video going to play. But before we do that, let's go to Exodus now. 21 and 16.
Another one gun. Another one gun. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 21 and verse 16. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death.
And when the scripture says, surely, something shall surely happen, this is the most I telling you that it's going to happen.
Right.
And we have to understand, when a man says surely, as to when God says surely. When God says surely, you know, it means even if my people don't want to judge by my law and do it, I am going to do it.
Right.
You remember in the time of Samuel, how he delivered Israel without using any Israelite fighter. And just let them carry the Ark of the Covenant in the camp. Let the enemy take the Ark of the Covenant and carry it, go down in their country, and then them whip their ass down there and make them have to send it back and retreat.
Yeah, God.
Right? So that was a God's choice, showing us that I can still deliver. You know, you're going like say, we can only deliver you through you.
Right.
And this time now, Christ coming now, and Christ and all the fighters is already there, and none of us will be in that fight. We'll be in other fights, but
Right.
that one that is going to give Christ the glory, none of us won't be there to get any of the glory with him. Because we know what we are going to say, oh, me, beat with chest, I say, we help Christ out. The most I know we more than we know ourselves. You know?
God.
Yeah. And what he wants is not for us to glory in ourselves, but many times we rob God of his glory, you know.
Right.
Yeah, man. You remember David did it, which is why he whipped David and said, you know, there were times, all right. Remember, who was it again? It was, when we were reading about what was Elijah's second name as well? One of his
Elisha or John the Baptist.
Elisha, man. One of his servants who went and take some money off the
God.
take some money from the Syrian the Syrian leader who came to him for healing. Remember that one that he turned into leper?
Cancer.
Yeah, man. Because what he did was to, you know, take some glory from Christ, from the Most High. And there are other stories where we rob God of his glory. Another famous one was the king before David, Saul. Saul robbed God of his glory too.
God.
God, the Most High tell him, don't take anything from them. Imagine the Most High send us to destroy America. What's the first thing you think we would do as a people?
The first thing we would have do, you know what I mean, talk about how we great and how we destroyed America.
Well, yeah, that is after we destroy it. But what we would do in the process of destroying America, what would we do?
Probably start gather the resource them for ourselves and
Thank you.
start separate things to ourselves. Not even focus no more than conquering. Upon conquering, we have to say, hey, we gather some great stuff, you know. You know what I mean? Set them on one side for myself.
Look how much gold and silver and diamond and other things in America.
God.
Yeah, we would have take. We have to get some. That is us. We would have to take some.
God.
But he's going to send Christ. Christ don't want none. The angels don't want none.
Right.
So then just utter destruction. And the only thing we're going to look and say, then they couldn't save some of the gold them, man. Well, if the command given to him, to Christ, is to save the golds, then he will. But the Most High wants utter destruction. Because he that stealeth a man shall what?
Another one can. He shall surely be put to death.
Right. So this death of the queen is not the Most High putting her to death, you know. This is her natural progress because she reigned long, 70 years. And she died at what age?
90 what, 3?
90 something.
90 something.
Which means that she lived 20 odd years over the years with the Most I give us as man. So this is not the Most I putting her to death. And as a matter of fact, the scriptures don't tell you that he's going to put the royals to death. The royals shall be your nursing fathers and mothers.
Right.
Right? So think of you having a king.
96, sir. Slovakia.
Come again?
96 years old, sir.
96.
Yeah,
Seems very long.
Deeper years, that.
Yeah. Think of you having a king in your home that you're going to say, hey, listen, carry my son down to the wherever place there and see to it that nothing happened to him and bring him back for me within 1 hour time. That's what kings will and queens will be doing for us.
Right.
That is why we are saying, you know, all our people really need to watch these fanfare. So that when these kings and queens come under your feet, you know exactly what you're putting under your feet. So in other words, the love that Christ and the Most High have for us supersedes all the fanfare that you see happening there.
Right.
Right? All right. Give me Isaiah 14.
Canada one can.
I wonder if we can go through all of it.
Canada one can. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
So right there in the first verse, the Most High set the pace for what he's going to explain down the other verses. He is going to have mercy on Jacob. That is the only thing that is going to save us. Mercy. You ever see, well, it's generally in movies, because we don't do sword battles again. But taking the movie, when a strong man whipping the next man.
Yeah.
And the next man beg for mercy. And he's granted mercy. Well, if he wasn't granted mercy, he would not survive. Because the strong man would take him out totally.
Good.
Same thing with we and the Most High. If the Most High don't give us mercy, it's utter destruction by him for us, towards us. Right? So this is why and tell us that this is him now telling us that he will be giving us mercy. The Lord will have mercy on Jacob's children and will choose Israel and set us in our own land again. And strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave, and the strangers will cleave to the house of Jacob. And these strangers is not talking about Israelites who do not know that they are Israelites. This is talking about the other nations.
Right.
All right, verse 2.
Canada one can, verse 2. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors.
And who is our oppressor? Every other nation out there.
Right.
every other nation out there has hurt us as a people. Every other nation out there has have us in captivity at some point in time in history. And you know, when somebody said to you, you must forgive and forget. Forgiveness, the Bible talk about forgiveness, you know. But there is nothing about don't forget, you know.
Right.
Yeah. The most I don't forget anything. If he forgives you, that don't mean that he forgets. Because we have seen where he forgives some of the kingdom, but he still the sins they committed is still required to be paid. And then take it out back on their fourth
Yeah, man.
generation.
Gone. Gone.
Sure. I mean, can you want a more um terrible, what I call it now, revenge than that, man? Somebody taking revenge when your eyes are closed and when your children, your sons and daughters, what you know now, when their eyes are closed, then the revenge is being taken. I'm saying who they taking the revenge and don't even know what they are paying for.
Gone.
Mm-hmm. Just like when our when we were going into slavery, we didn't know what we were paying for.
La.
Yeah, all we know that some man come on a cast with net and catch we mash up the cities that we have, whatever towns and kingdoms we had on the coastline of Africa there was destroyed, and we find ourselves sailing on some ship coming across the Atlantic. We don't know what was happening, that we were actually paying for some sins that our parents before we don't know committed.
Gone.
Right. So that's how the Most High roll. The Most High is one who don't forget. So this now we taking those country, the Arabs. The Arabs have enslaved a lot of our people before the Esau, you know. The Arabs had us kidnapping us from the coastline of Africa 1,000 years before the British them before the Europeans found us. Because while we were there, and the Arabian king, different Esau's different, not Esau, Ishmael's different kingdoms were rising. Is we same one that they come to, you know, as Israelites, you know, and enslaved us.
Gone.
The most I don't forget. So when he said take them captives, whose captives they were, them the Arab have a lot to pay for,
Right.
right? The Elamites, Moab. You read about what the Moab was doing from the time of the judges. The Moses has never exacted any punishment on any of them. So think of them now paying for the sins that was committed from the time of the judges. So that is why the Mosai is going to put all these other nations. And this is not something which is far-fetched. This is not something that is impossible.
Right.
Because all the other nations are under Babylon's feet. And they are humans. So it's not impossible.
Right.
All right, I want this video now. Let me see if it's let me listen to this man here. This is where Esau now taking warfare. This is not right. They call them assassination drones. Ever hear about assassination drone?
Cancer.
Yeah, the same thing I was describing earlier.
Increasingly common, both in the United States, Europe, and other parts of the world, is the concept of genetic testing. People want to be tested both for medical issues to see if they have an underlying medical issue, and also for purposes of ancestry. And two of the largest companies that partake in these.
All right, you know about people want to know where their ancestors come from.
Yeah, Ancestry.com and the next one name.
I don't know. I know Ancestry.com is one of the biggest one.
Yeah, man, you have a couple of them. Cancer, yeah, man.
And you wonder why them senior just raise up, and it's like every celebrity want to find out. It's like the target the celebs.
The black celebrities.
Yes, even in Jamaica here, bold. They then get bold to do some ancestry things, though, don't?
How film thing did go? Where them claims them come from?
Somewhere in Africa, and him go back at the tribe and then give him big welcome and something.
Give one of our champion them, you know, to another 3 Edens, you know.
You see, all right, watch this now.
Tests around the world, both 23andMe and Ancestry.com have also used genetic sequencers in China to help use this information. And so there are some risks there that are not widely understood by the general public. And in fact, the concern is so great that the military has issued a warning to all service members in the United States, strongly discouraging them from using companies like 23andMe and Ancestry until they can get greater clarity on what specifically is being done with their genetic material when they submit it.
That's a fascinating rabbit hole to go down. But let me ask you something about the U.S. side of this. You've talked a little bit about China.
All right, you see him talking about what happens to these DNAs when after they collect it and run them thing. What them do with it after? It's not thrown away, you know. You understand? You following?
Cancer, may I try follow it, sir? Can.
All right, listen on.
China being the leader in potentially weaponizing, you know, some of this DNA information. There's a remarkable cable that
all right, you mentioned it, weaponizing the DNA.
Okay.
We all came to see as a result of Edward Snowden's revelations, and obviously Edward Snowden is a complicated character out there, but nonetheless we have him to thank for this top secret cable in July 31st of 2009, and it is the reporting and collection needs at the United Nations issued by then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, and basically she instructs her team to collect biographical and biometric information on key permanent representatives to the UN. I mean, are we part of the arms race in the United States? Because this memo basically says we probably are.
Yeah, to your point, the U.S. definitely is a player in this field. Let's remember that it was the United States that decoded the first human genome, and we have some of the best genomic scientists in the world. There are many people out there like George Church and many others that are absolutely at the cutting edge of this type of research science. And the U.S., of course, is looking at the military implications of these tools, if for no other reason but to be able to protect its soldiers if some other country were to develop a bioweapon that could negatively impact U.S. soldiers posted abroad, U.S. diplomats posted abroad, or even the broader U.S. citizenry. The United States government would be derelict in its duties if it did not understand the implications and the consequences. And though it may seem far-fetched to think that somebody would launch a biological attack against the United States, we thought 10 years ago it would be improbable, if not impossible, for somebody to launch a nuclear weapon or a tactical nuclear weapon in the 21st century. And yet here we find those issues very much up for debate and potentially to be put into effect by Russia in Ukraine and elsewhere. So warfare is tricky and it's changing all the time. So yes, the U.S. is definitely researching this. Clearly, if they put out that cable, and I don't, I've never seen the cable, it's classified, so I don't know what is said in it, except to say that I know it was part of the release of information out there. And you could understand that if you are the U.S. government or any government, you want to learn as much about your friends and even your enemies as you can, because if you're negotiating with a foreign leader and there is genetic suggestions that they are mentally ill, have a short life, will have some sort of critical disease, that may very well play into your foreign policy or how you approach them.
All right, listen to this part that he's saying now. This is how far this is hey, everything that touches Esau's hand, he thinks weapon.
Turning our weapon, gun.
How can I use this as a weapon? All right, before I go any further, let me drop a disclaimer. This is done by Al Jazeera news station. This is not our work as UPK. This was placed in the public's domain, and we are just using it for educational purposes, not for any monetary gain.
Right.
So what this gentleman here is, what this, him look like Esau's. So what this devil here is explaining is, it's something serious. They have managed to unravel your DNA, and they can tell you possible sicknesses that you will get down the line.
Gun.
So this is what they said. If they can, if they have the DNA of some world leader or something, and they can see that he's going to have certain sicknesses down the line, this can play in their foreign policies against this man.
Okay.
So in other words, them know say you're soon dead. So who knows what they might do? They don't have to kill you. They just play along and they know what is going to kill you without them doing anything. So all they do, they just make them foreign policy now to suit what is going to happen to you. This is where they're at. And this is, of course, totally behind the scene. This is not out there like you see a F-16 flying.
Right.
And these technologies, the technologies that we are seeing are ancient technology, and it still is mind-boggling to us. Because the speed of an F-16 is still mind-boggling.
Okay.
Other planes that fly much faster than F-16. No, as a matter of fact, not to mention the bomb.
The leader. The one thing I will say about the United States versus China, for example, is that here we are not required to provide genetic information to the government upon our birth. But that is true in many countries around the world. Denmark, 30 years ago, instituted a genetic biobank, and they did it for the purposes of curing disease. But now, 20, 25 years later, some of those infants have grown up, and that same genetic database can be used by the government of Denmark and has been for the purposes of identifying criminals. The last thing I'll say about China is that
you see what Denmark use it for?
Gun.
Collect it when you're born. So you go on a crime scene now, and you leave. You manage to make your escape. Bops, but the DNA is left at the crime scene. They just put it in the data bank and know exactly who you are.
Gun.
It is an order of magnitude larger in terms of its databases, with 1.3 billion citizens all required to submit genetic material. They have a huge advantage. On the positive side, they have a huge advantage for the purposes of developing medicines and uncovering diseases, because we've now entered the age where you can mix not just genetic information, but artificial intelligence and machine learning to uncover traits and patterns that otherwise would have been previously impossible due to computational limitations. So they have that benefit. And of course, if they can do it for the purposes of good, they also can do it for the purposes of ill, including warfare.
What we're seeing in warfare and hybrid war is not only the manipulation of our physical being, of our genetics, of our DNA, of the creation potentially of viruses, but the influence on our minds, the taking of data, the compromising across a lot of fronts in the, I guess you'd call it the digital and cyberspace. And one of the things that's been interesting is the cybersecurity chief at Twitter, the former cybersecurity chief, now a whistleblower, has said there's just a recklessness in the way that massive amounts of data, personal data about people is being used. This person alleges that there are many spies for India employed within Twitter. We've had Saudi individuals who previously worked for Twitter who were in fact convicted of spying for Saudi Arabia. I guess my question is, should we, any of us, sleep well at night given this vulnerability? I mean, I always sort of see society as the responsibility of society, of a government, is to create safer and better environments. But as I look at what's going on, I just sort of fear that so many of the areas that we've taken for granted as being safe are in fact wobbly, fragile, and they create vulnerabilities for us. So I'd just be interested in how you see our data world, and you just talked about 23andMe, but what about Twitter, Facebook, Google, other major social media platforms?
Well, I share your concern, and I think it's very astute that you pointed out. And when I try to share my concerns about all the social media companies from Instagram, let alone TikTok, which has, again, staff and founders from the Chinese People's Liberation Army that helped found TikTok and ByteDance. So it's all out there, but a lot of people say, well, who cares if Facebook has my data, and who cares if Facebook...
All right, so you see, if you're on TikTok, the Chinese government have your information.
Good.
China, they actually put soldiers on the staff of TikTok.
Facebook has over 1 billion people on their platform. They're just a company. What do I care? But what people don't realize is that as soon as one organization collects it, other organizations will get it. They will get it because they pay for it, right? Law enforcement in the United States, for one, certainly can buy streams of social media data that can be shared with the government. There are governments that hack that data, and we've seen dozens and dozens of examples of that. And then again, we have hidden players, either organized criminals or espionage actors from foreign nations that are placed within these organizations. And the challenge is, as I'm sure you know, and The Economist is writing about this 20 years ago, data is the new oil. So the more and more data we produce, the more and more data that you have, the greater your wealth, the greater your military prowess, your intelligence prowess, and of course your economic prowess. So who owns this data and what is done with it should definitely be up to subject to debate. I will say that certain governments do a much better job of protecting this data than others. I'm thinking specifically of the European Union has a number of general regulations on data privacy and the like, as do many other nations. Most other countries, with the exception of the United States, have a national data commissioner that looks after these things. So you're absolutely right to look at it, and I'll just be a bit future oriented out there and say, as much data as we have collected now, it is minuscule in terms of what we will be collecting going forward with things like the Internet of Things and the metaverse that Facebook is now very much getting involved in. In fact, when it comes to the growth of the Internet and the collection and processing of data manually, but mostly through machine learning and artificial intelligence, we are but in the first seconds of the first minutes of the first hours of the Internet revolution, and frankly, none of us knows what's going to come next. So it is both a very exciting, possible time to be alive in, but it is also quite concerning as well.
All right, so you see, we're not finished. We're going to play some more. But the point that he's bringing out, the more data you have on an enemy or a potential enemy is the best one. You'll be able to what? Best you're able to know your enemy, and the best you might be able to conquer your enemy.
Right.
Now, when you look at our scriptures, the Most High did give us data and Esau. And we, many of, not we in the truth, but we Israelites take this thing for granted. Right? Where find it again? The main one. See if we can find this one. The first came out red.
Got the one gun.
It's in Genesis, 25.
Genesis 25 and 25.
All right.
Got the one gun. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 25 and verse 25. And the first came out red, all over like an eerie garment. And they call his name Esau.
All right, so that is the first data that the Most High gave us on who is to be our enemy. Right? The first came out red, and he was eerie all over. So you look for a man whose children are now red and eerie.
God.
Now, in the advent of inventing razor blades, it's difficult to know who is the eerie one.
God.
But you know who is the red one.
Right.
Right? That the part don't change. So that's the first data that the Most High gave us on our enemy. And we have to remember now, this is the warfare that we are in, and the UPK has deciphered this from 69. That our enemy is red and eerie all over.
Right.
All right, and there are other features it give us on the enemy. But here they are now. Is the same enemies talking here now? Is our enemies having this discussion? All right, we're going to play some more, listen to him some more, because what they're talking about is no joke, you know. And if the Most High didn't speak and let us know that, you know, be not dismayed about Esau, really, because Christ already has already been given the victory over Esau.
Right.
So, I mean, we in the truth, this is why when world events change, you don't find us in the truth running up and down and what is happening? What is going to happen? What is this? What is that? But we get a lot of contacts. People ask, what do you think? What do you think about that? What is this? What is that?
Right.
Maybe what we need to start doing is just tell them, say, you need to come in the truth. No, because things is going to scare them outside when they come in.
Like the conspiracy theorists, them.
Yeah, scare them when they come in, man.
So like, yeah. Which it goes to your point again, sir. You know what I mean? The people of the world, them see this, you know what I mean? Predominantly the people who addicted to the conspiracy theories and they are panicking. But that is the reason why they need the I.S.U.P.K and a command in General YAHANNA. Because, you know what I mean, we are not panicking. We already know how this thing will turn out, you understand? And we know the precautions that we need to take as the children of Israel to avoid, you know what I mean, the different devices that Esau have. So it is best for them to just come seek advice from the prophets in the I.S.U.P.K and a command in General YAHANNA and done. You understand?
Right. Because what he is talking about, that is our platform which we use to get out to people.
Right.
And we are not dismayed by it. Right? So let's listen a little more what he's talking about.
My question to you is there any way to control these technologies that can be used both for good and for beauty, but can come back and get us? What
sir. Put it up on the screen.
Ever work?
I took it down now. Okay.
In controlling some of the worst dimensions of advancing technology.
In terms of drones, I absolutely share your concern. You know, what is a drone? Well, a drone is just a computer, right? It's a computer that can fly, swim, crawl, or walk. And if you've gone online and watched some of the YouTube videos by Boston Dynamics, it is mind-blowing, some of the capabilities of modern robots, both for good and for ill. The challenge is that the price of these drones has dropped tremendously. One of the very first unmanned drones was the Global Hawk, produced by the United States at about a cost of $3 billion. Now you can walk into a Tesco or...
See, that was like the first drone they make, you know, at a cost of about $3 billion. And look at drone price now. What's the price of a drone now? Drone, we have them selling in Jamaica, by the way, without buying it online. You're mute, you know. You're mute. Your mic mute.
Oh, Slakia, sir. You talk weaponized drone or just
no man, just regular drone.
Slakia, sir, as little as 30 US drone, like a racing car or something like.
Right. So, drones. The first drone that America made was about $3 billion, as him say.
Good.
And look at it now.
Or a Costco or Walmart and buy a drone for $100. So these are widespread, and if anything, the amount of growth in flying robots is going to increase exponentially. So I fear, and I've mentioned previously, you know, right now, people who grew up in this era and before have been able to look up into the sky and see stars and planets and the like. But the same way we have light pollution on the Earth, we're going to have drone pollution in the sky. There will be drones delivering packages. There will be drones transporting people. There will be drone taxis. And of course, because they're flying robots, which are flying computers, they too are hackable. And we know very little about the supply chain of the drones that are out there, except for this. The overwhelming majority of them are produced in China. And to answer your question about what we can do to control these, well, we saw that firsthand because the Ukrainians were using Chinese-made DJI drones and others to great effect in terms of uncovering and routing out Russian soldiers that had illegally invaded Ukraine. Well, DJI found out about that because the Russians complained to them. And then DJI restricted a whole bunch of navigational features on the Ukrainian DJI drones or DJI drones from China that were flying in Ukraine. So here the Ukrainians thought they had this great tool, but because of who manufactured it and the supply chain, of course, there were backdoors in them that the Chinese could exploit to down those drones as well. So it's quite a complicated question.
Mark,
All right. So you might explain what the Chinese them do. The Chinese them supply Ukraine with some drones. Probably they had them before the war, right, when them just start fight. But these drones was giving these Ukrainians great advantage on the Russians, and the Russians complained to the Chinese. And the Chinese them stay in China and shut them down.
Done.
So I mean, these things, is it really for your use or for the manufacturer's use? Because obviously they have a backdoor entry into it after you buy it. And you can use them to do a lot of things.
Right.
We started the show by saying this isn't science fiction, this is all real. But 10 years ago, when you wrote your piece, a lot of people thought it was science fiction. And now what you wrote and thought about has become real. as we look forward to the future of war? Are we going to have soldiers? Are we going to have pilots? Or is it going to be lethal autonomous weapon systems that we see deployed that today looks to us like science fiction?
Absolutely, that is the future of warfare. In most countries around the world, drone and robotic warfare is not fully autonomous, meaning that there is always a human being in what's called the kill chain. It's not a very nice sounding term, but it's accurate. So before a drone will take somebody out or shoot them or drop a bomb on them, for example, under the US military code, there's always a human being that will interact in that. But there's no reason that has to be the case. And in countries, for example, like North Korea, they operate fully autonomous drone robots. The North Koreans operate fully autonomous robots in the DMZ. And if a movement is detected, the guns can just shoot automatically based on nothing more than the computer algorithm. And the challenge with that is if I want to be more safe and more secure and more humane and ensure that my drones don't blow up anybody accidentally or injure the public unnecessarily and cause a humanitarian disaster, I will use a human in the loop. But if my human in the loop drone is going up against a fully automated drone that can react much more quickly than any human being can, then I will lose all of my drones and I will be outgunned in warfare. So I think, unfortunately, that the future of warfare is very autonomous. The challenge that we face with technology due to Moore's law is that it proceeds at an exponential rate. It's constantly going up, 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 doubling, doubling, doubling. So that's what the technology does. But all of our systems of society are not exponential. They are, in fact, linear, completely flat. So all these systems are linear and completely flat. So if you think about business, government, public policy, law, ethics, they are struggling mightily to keep up what is technologically possible. And part of that problem is we don't have very many technologically savvy members of Congress in the US. The most common profession is that of lawyer. And we have a lot of senators in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. So we're going to have to change all of that.
Well, I don't want to, but we're going to have to leave it there. I could talk to you for hours on these issues and look forward to.
All right, so that's the future of warfare, talking about drones, and who is the main one behind it? Esau, But interestingly, when they talk about what North Korea using the drones to monitor the border. So in other words, you can just hear a movement, they just pick up a movement, don't have to hear anything infrared, and they just shoot. So no matter who.
I might explain how these autonomous one them more quick up on the draw than the human one them.
Yes, man, because they not think.
God. Just pure calculation.
Yeah, and the calculation says shoot.
God.
Shoot.
God.
No human reasoning to say one day it's a baby.
God.
You understand? Anything it is, get shot. Right. And this is the kind of enemies that we are dealing with in this world. So you see all them celebs and all the people who move around to them ancestry.coms and all these places sequencing their DNA. These DNA data will be stored in Esau's data bank for a very, very long time. So you see when Christ returned, and many of us gone off with Christ, they still have the DNA back here.
Mm-hmm.
So you see why we need a new body. You see why we need new bodies.
Good.
Yeah, wipe the slate clean. So even that's supposed to change. Whatever the information they have on us supposed to be erased. Hopefully that's what the new body does. And if it's the most who made them, allow them to be doing what they are doing now, then we know that he has got our backs, right?
Right.
And once you have our backs, you know, we in the truth, we're not daunted by whatever device Esau might come up with. But for the sake of our people, to show them what they are up against, because many of them believe that we shouldn't be speaking on the road, we should be training and gathering arms for the purpose of attacking.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you can gather all the arms you want. Esau don't have your DNA. Send a drone come kill you.
Right. And slack, yes, sir. You know what I mean? We know exactly where you refer to those people who feel like say boy teaching our people morality. You know what I mean? Teaching them the right way to live is a waste of time. And these are the same people that won't pick up a stick, you know what I mean, to fight the oppressor. You understand? These are the same people that, you know what I mean, go about them daily life, talking, doing nothing. You understand? Doing nothing at all but just talking, but yet still complain of what Commanding General YAHANNA is doing. You know what I mean? Commanding General YAHANNA have a plan. Where your plan there? Your plan is to take up arms. You are not even taking up arms. You don't have the guts to even take up arms. So what are you doing? You understand? Salakia.
And what you're playing here now is showing people what taking up arms is going to lead to.
Right. You know what I mean?
Right. So when they take up arms, these are not even going to take up arms against you. You already have your DNA and ancestry.com. All you need to do is program your DNA in a couple of the drones them and the drones and go out and wherever you are, you know.
Good.
You have your own killer drone and you like with them. You remember the story the other day where they killed the Taliban leader.
Gun, sir.
Right. So
the Al Qaeda leader.
It was Al Qaeda?
Yeah, gun, sir. I remember say Taliban run Afghanistan now.
Yeah, man, but remember saying Afghanistan, they go and kill him. Or
yeah, they kill a thing there, I think the Al Qaeda leader.
Al Qaeda leader in
yeah.
Afghanistan. And it's the information that they have on him.
Right.
They were able to pinpoint him. Probably they have him voice algorithms. Because everybody's voice sound different, different pitch.
Right.
And they digitalize the voice.
Okay.
And put it in the system. So once you like we are broadcasting over the internet now, it's picked up.
Good.
Right. So they have all your information. So when you say you're going to take up arms against the system, I mean, the Most High is not on your side. Oh, we know that because the glory is for Christ. So he's not on your side.
Right.
How you going with? Remember the blacks just the other day, a while back, who said they were exercising their Fifth Amendment by carrying guns and something. And they were traveling to somewhere and police then spot them and say, wait, what going on? And then going to the bush.
And they became fugitives.
Yeah.
God.
They were in the bush for about a day.
Right.
Until they had to give up.
I'm sorry, God.
I mean, you walking with the arms and you're still afraid of the enemy.
Right.
So what's the sense?
God.
You're better off walking with Christ.
1 second.
It's best you walk with Christ who already have power over your enemy. Right? It's like you're in a volatile community. Right? And you decide you're going in that volatile community and you're going to be the underdog. That community already have done, you know. So you in the volatile community believe you can throw down the Dan. You can't throw him down.
Salakia, sir. Then you can't even, you know what I mean, overthrow the Dan, much less we think. You know what I mean?
So you overthrow Isa.
Oppressor. You understand? And there's so much different levels you have to go through. Then you have to go through the police force. Then the then the military. You understand?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
First get past the police force.
Right. You know what I mean? And so like yes, sir. I just people them will say them thing I know the first me hear it a lot, you know, sir. It's because they want to continue eating pork. You understand? They want to continue sleeping with
I'm buying words.
You understand? Them don't have the guts to do what them say. You know what I mean? They might recommend. But we in the ISUPK, sir, you know what I mean? We have the guts to stand up for where we believe in. You understand? Yeah. Which is even more dangerous than what them say because them very phone with them use, give them we already. You know what I mean? So, you know,
and when we stand on these corners with our people and speak to our people, right? Even the very Esau come up against us, have no power over us on these corners.
Right.
Right? So this is the most I showing his people the way in which to fight this enemy. They can't fight him physically. How you gonna beat a man who can make a I know somebody ain't gonna send come for you, you can send a robot. Right. Okay. You can send a robot that can fly to come for you. You know, it was some of these drones that they use against Dudus, you know. Okay. Yeah, fly over and drop. And then there's that real bomb they drop, you know. I wouldn't call them again.
I know flash grenade.
Flash grenade, something like flash grenade.
Okay.
Because it's just to it have this ear thing, poof. It probably can shatter a glass, but it's really to knock you off your feet. If they drop it in a house, it won't destroy the house.
Okay.
But there was one, they drop a powerful one and one of them still, you know. Shatter some glass, it leak off a door, but it didn't kill anybody. But if you fighting your enemies with real high power weapon, you have the Boer 3-mile shooter, and who you make your enemy now is going to fight you with flash grenade.
Right.
What I tell us?
I tell us I'm way more advanced than you.
You don't even reach up to the standard to use a grenade on you.
Right.
Him fight you with a mock grenade.
Okay.
I'm just showing you how much of a little boy you firepower is it?
Yeah.
That show you how much of a little boy your firepower is.
Right.
So what arms you going to take up against? You can't even get past the Jamaica government.
Right. Which is totally dependent on the enemy that you're talking about.
And Jamaica government armed to the teeth.
God. Okay. Comedian.
The only thing Jamaica government lacking is personnel.
Right.
If they should have the amount of people they want in the police force and in the army, we would have become a full autonomous police state.
Right.
Right? But you can't get past the Jamaica government. How the hell you going to take on ISA?
Right.
It's like Russia can't manage Ukraine. How you going to manage America?
Right.
That is why, but the scripture tell you how it's going to happen. It's a surprise attack they're going to get.
Good.
So Russia now, the most unless God set it that way. If he didn't have the element of surprise, he would not be able to overthrow America.
Right.
So the most I going to give him the element of surprise, and that's what it's going to take, because nobody has never attacked them. No foreign country has ever attacked them on their own soil. So, you know, they're going to be encircled all about.
Right.
Before they are being attacked. And for us to say we're going to have kings and queens as put them in a position to be your nursing mothers and fathers, we have to first get past Esau.
Right.
So this is just showing, we're just showing how much behind we are, and it's really God himself have to do it.
Right.
We can't get past. Jamaica government is like the fingernail and Esau's little finger. And you can't get past that. And you know, fingernail or something, after a while, they take the nail clipper and clip it off and throw it away. Eh?
Okay.
And you can't get past that. And Christ is showing, and the scripture is showing you that he is going to get past Esau and use them to come and serve you.
Right.
All right, where are now? Verse 1.
We just read Genesis 25 and 25.
Okay, yeah. We are in Isaiah, we are. Verse what? 3? Isaiah 14.
We read Isaiah.
Verse 3.
So, okay. Was it Isaiah 14?
Yeah, starting from 3.
Canada one can. Verse 3. And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve.
Verse 4.
Canada one can. Verse 4. That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, oh, as the oppressor seized, the golden city seized.
5.
Verse 5, the Lord has broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers.
All right. Read 6 though.
Another one can. Verse 6, he who smote the people in wrath with a continuous stroke, he that rule the nations in anger, is persecuted and none hinder it.
All right. So he make all the drones him want and thing. He watch you on TikTok, him well, Facebook first.
Okay.
TikTok is the Chinese them, which is why if you know, Americans were against the TikTok coming over, you know.
Good.
Until Facebook now collaborate with TikTok. So the information that TikTok gather is now shared with Facebook.
Facebook can.
And we know that Facebook, the CIA and the FBI already have hands in Facebook.
Good.
So the government feel a little more relaxed.
Yeah.
With TikTok being over here now. And here you have this man now telling you TikTok gathers information and what they can do with the information. Right? So the Most High is telling you that the Lord has broken the staff of the wicked. The staff is when a person walk with a staff, that staff bear your weight each time you make a step. So without the staff, you would not be able to go forward. So right. Esau's military is really his staff. Is really the staff of Esau, you know, military and staff, you know,
okay.
And in economic might. So when the Most High send Christ now and mash up in military, mash up Esau's military, what do you think will happen? It's going to be an easier walkover for when we know to go and find the remnants of Esau.
Right.
Because the Most High already give us data on him, you know, and make we know what he's like. We know that he devises nothing but evil. If you teach Esau how to make a cake, Esau is thinking how he can weaponize that cake.
Good.
Yeah, man. Say, all right, yeah, man, we'll make a cake. They love cake. I make one cake, give them as them joke you with the fork, so just blow up in them face. That is Esau. The Chinese, you know what the Chinese use gunpowder for? They use it in their idol worship, you know. They say the explosion is supposed to scare off evil. So when they have to parade and you know, they're scaring off evil in their mind. Esau look at it and you know, you could use put a metal on the end of a tube and make that same explosion And that metal can fly into somebody. Yeah, can use it and kill a man, you know.
God.
I mean, the most I give us DNA, Esau now thinking, how can I turn that DNA into a weapon against them? This man thinks nothing but war.
Right.
He's only got himself because the persistence that he has in warfare, we don't have time for that.
Right.
Which is why earlier I brought out the analogy, if the Most High should send us as people to go and fight against America and give us the power over America to fight him physically. Halfway through the battle, when we reach for the wealth of America, halfway through the battle, we either start negotiate with them or
start gather riches and things.
yeah, because there's so many wealth there.
Yeah.
We're gonna get distracted.
God.
Right? And Esau now he thinks he's not distracted by the wealth that you have. He's not into any negotiation with you for your wealth. When you know the story Mansa Musa, the greatest African king, they say when he sailed from Mali Empire at the time, when America was established, you know, and he came, when after time start learn to feed people is in the West here as slave. He come with ships of wealth to buy back the people, and then American military then tell him, say, no, sir, we're not selling back nothing. No deal. And the ship sail to go back to Mali. And what do you think America and the Navy do? They meet him out in the seas and take this very same money that he was going to use to buy the slaves, kill them off out there and take with the same wealth. Now, this is a man which you just, the only thing you can think about in dealing with Esau is just don't deal with Esau.
Right.
That's the safest thing against Esau, you know. But he is so clever in his warfare that he makes so many things that you are going to want to better your life. Yeah. How many of us is willing to go back into a stone age to go and catch up wood fire rather than get one of them stove where you can press a button and it lights? Eh? Who knows? Maybe in pressing the button and many of these electronic devices, your fingerprint is being collected and you don't know. We don't know.
Right.
We don't know what they're doing. We sit in front of a camera broadcasting over the internet.
Every day.
So they have the whole physical features and everything.
Right.
You don't know exactly what they are doing with these. So the safest thing is to just, that's why the Most I said it as he is, to take us out away, give us a new body. Right? You'll be changed in the twinkling of an eye. You think that Esau wouldn't try to come back and find out where Most I can go and try and come back for us? Because we are the foundation of the wealth of the West. The West was of no concern to the rest of the world until the Israelites came around.
Right.
Right? And when Esau found the wealth that the West have and the wealth in the people, and he came around here. From creation, you know, every country rule the world always there in the East, you know.
Right. They ignore over Y.A.S.U.P.
Yes.
And they knew about over Y.A.S.U.P. too, you know.
Of course. They know about here.
Yeah.
But the countries, the wealth of the world was situated in the East.
Good.
And it's when the Israelites came into the West. And Esau come and conquer us. The powers of the world now shift to the West.
Good.
America is the only one who has ever shifted the power of the world to the West. That's Babylon.
Right.
Because what the Most I want to destroy is not the entire world. So you put him in one corner. When you destroy there, so you still have the East to go back to.
Good.
Right? So Esau, the only person who can think warfare greater than Esau is God himself. Yeah.
Right.
You think of a man coming out of a cave to where he is now. Right? And if he could have changed his own DNA so that he is not born red, you think he wouldn't? That's the angle that the most I have on him. He keeps on born in red and eerie. So even though he have razor blade, he can't shave the baby inside the womb.
Right.
So he still come out red and eerie all over. And that's the first data the most I gave us in identifying our enemy.
Right.
Right? So there could be queen, there could be king. You know them. All right. You were going to say something?
Oh, Slacky, just to say that, to add to your point, him always talk about changing him DNA and evolving and all of them things too. So, you know what I mean?
So maybe that him trying to work on it.
God.
That's him about red and hairy all over again.
God.
Because if it wasn't for that red skin on him, I can't even watch it blue eye because it's not all of them blue eyes.
Right.
But all of them red and eerie. And the God that we serve has already given us, I mean, what more information you want? It don't really matter. If you notice, when you read through the Bible, it tells you some things what him do and thing, which is not all of them do it. But every single one of them born red and eerie. And the Most High coming down the scripture letting you know that he is nothing but the devil that the Bible speaks of.
Right.
From Genesis all the way down to Revelation. He is the devil that the Bible speaks of. He is the wicked one against Israel and the world.
Right.
But more so against us as a people. And the Most I give you that data and how to identify that enemy, because you can't fight a war if you don't know who you're fighting against.
Right.
And even though this warfare is not carnal, it's spiritual, you still have to know who the enemy is. You got to know, or there's no way you can win. All right, drop down to 11.
Canada one gun, verse 11.
I can read down to give me up to what? 13.
Canada one gun, verse 11. All day shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us?
Right, so this is Esau in his mighty state now. Every nation look up to him, Look at the other day with China and Taiwan. When the third in command in America decided she go into Taiwan. And the president said, I would rather if you not go, but I can't tell you what to do. She decided that she's going. And the American military just said, well, if she decides to go, we have to do our duty. Our duty is to protect her. And they went into Taiwan and protect her. And only thing you get from China, what China can do is just some, what they call now,
military drills.
Military drills and things around the place.
God.
And the Chinese military is not a boy.
Right.
Right? And it's growing. And America decided to make going down there. You don't like it, do what you can do. When and him have to keep him drill one side.
God.
And this is what the other nations are going to say. Are you now weak as us? You were did so strong? Were we did so afraid of? You really become as weak as us? Continue.
Canada one gun. Slakia, that was 10, sir. Verse 11. Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vials. The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee.
All right, so this is now, this is showing you that he is destined for the grave. He's destined to become a nobody.
Right.
Verse 12.
Verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations?
So Christians read this now and say Lucifer is the devil.
Right.
But Lucifer is a man.
Right.
It said,
Right.
how art thou fallen from heaven? And this is where them say Lucifer fell from heaven where God is. No, this is the heaven that Lucifer fell from is from this peaceful, great place that the white man enjoys in this world.
Right.
A white man can come into Jamaica and come vacation, and you as a big successful black man, he can look on you and tell you about your backside and whatever, without any qualms as to what might happen to him after.
Right.
And you as a big rich black man in Jamaica going to America and them treat you like a boy. And you have to stop it. There's no justice for you there unless somebody do you something against the law where you can probably touch the law. But on the social scale, Esau is in heaven. He buys what he wants. All right, take for instance, look at this other thing too. In Jamaica, what's the maximum amount of cash you can go with in any establishment to purchase?
Last, sir, I don't know how much.
You never know. You better know, because you can't carry no more than $1 million cash into anywhere to buy.
Okay, can't.
Yes. Anything more than $1 million cash. If your business place can't write a bill give you for $1 million. For more than $1 million, I should say. If they write it for $1 million, $1 million, $1 million and $1,
yeah.
The Financial Service Commission have gonna know about that transaction.
Okay, good.
Right? So, I mean, there are ways around it, but I'm showing you this trend that they have. In America, the white man saying, no, you can't come tell me so I can't use cash. Cash is still legal tender in America. You can go buy a house for $10 million value in cash if you want to. And the problem that the Financial Services Commission is having in Jamaica stems from America.
Right.
Guns, drugs, everything. And yet still we're not able to get them to do anything to stop the problems that we have.
Good.
Right? So this is showing you the heaven that they are in. They do what they want to do. Heaven is just a place, a state of mind, a state on earth that you find yourself in. The man in the ghetto is in hell.
Right.
Right? The police don't show him no respect. Authorities show him no respect. As a matter of fact, you apply to something and then look at the address and say, hold on, man. Oh, this is a man from this place, I want this big thing. You understand me?
Right.
Because there is no fanfare in being there. But you come from Cherry Gardens and something, you could be the poorest man in Cherry Gardens and that come up on your address. You are now Mr. So-and-so.
Right.
That's the heaven that Lucifer fell from. Lucifer is going to lose that status, that heavenly status that he is now enjoying. All right. Give me the verse after that.
Another one can, verse 13. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north.
All right. He will establish himself above God himself. Yeah, man. Because the Bible himself tells you that Christ is black, and the white man said, Christ is any color we make him be. And you say, okay, God. The color doesn't matter.
Right.
He established himself above anything he wants. Jump down to where it said, thou art a man.
Another one can, verse 16. It said, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man?
Repeat that. Is this the?
Is this the man
Is this the man? Lucifer is a man.
Right.
Is this the man that does what?
Another one gun. Is this the man that make the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms?
So the next DNA that you have on, sorry, the next data that you have on Esau in general, he's one, he shake kingdoms, right? He sit on the side of the north. What do you mean by that? When Esau is in a room, he's the most important one in there. You always want to sit at the head table, backbench. Hey, when they used to go to church, if you go to church or white people going on, when them come late, you know, somebody up front have to get up and give them seat. You ever go to a church where you say where white people worship?
Yeah, sir.
Not the majority of them being white enough. The majority of them is white. Then he can't move an next white man. You have to sit down anywhere. But when you go in where you have a few of them being white and the majority being black. When they attend the church, if they are late, you see the usher go up front, prepare a seat, and walk him through the congregation, disturbing the church, and put him up front. That's the side of the north. That's how important he are. And if you ever go to an Anglican church in Jamaica or a Catholic church, you'll understand what I'm saying. Yes, sis.
I guess what I'm saying, that they don't even see you when you come to the doors.
If you come late, could you hold it down? I hear somebody start going and say, watch him. Come late like one to disturb the place.
Right.
Yeah, you come later, that's what you get. You are not important. The man that is important in this place, he sits in the side of the north. Right? And this is the man whose king is going to become your nursing father. All right. Now going further in Isaiah. I have some more to read. All right, give me Revelation 18.
Another one gun.
And give me grant unto her double.
Okay.
It's somewhere in Revelation 18. I think it's 4. Check verse 4.
Verse 6.
6.
Gun, sir.
All right, read from 4.
Another one gun. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 18 and verse 4. And it said, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues.
All right. So the Most High wants to whip Esau, but we are in the mix. And the Most High does not want to destroy Jacob. He punished Jacob, but he don't want to destroy Jacob.
Right.
But you are there. Now, when the time comes for Babylon's plagues, if you are there, it's going to catch you. So this is your warning. Come out from her. So all them who go on like them LGBT people who black and believe that the white man is them friend. You see what the monkeypox showing now? The first set of people them who get the monkeypox vaccination. I remember I saw a line, the lineup, long line, pure white man. So you know black gays too.
Right.
Who need the vaccine. But you know, that is to show you who the Most I want to destroy. The Most I want to destroy him. But you keep on getting in the way. You blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans keep on getting in the way, doing the things that they do, the heathen things that they do. And the Most I don't want to destroy you. But when these plagues start to roll, if you are in the mix, if you are in the area, you are going to get it. All the old time disease then take time coming back.
Gone.
Which other one we they talk about the other day?
Polio.
Polio.
Gone.
I think polio was totally a thing of the past.
Gone.
Polio coming back.
I think that is one of the vaccination that we get during immunization.
Yes, right. Polio vaccine.
Gone.
As it will twist you up and turn you up and make you walk like a vehicle run over you. Next verse.
Another one gone. Verse 5. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God has remembered her iniquities.
So even from Babylon in the time of Jeremiah, them time, those sins that they do against the people, this present day Babylon is going to pay for all those sins. When we went to captivity under that Babylon, plus longer captivity under this Babylon, the Most High is going to remember her sins. And her sins have piled up so much. It's now become a stench to the Most High while he is in heaven. Esau's sins is like a pile of dung, all the way up to the Most High's nose in heaven, in the true heaven, right? And the Most High remember. Continue.
Another one gone. Verse 6. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. In the cup which she has filled, fill to her double.
Now, trust me, the cup that they have filled unto us is a lot to bear. Meaning the things that they have done to us, blacks, Hispanics, and Native American. Well, think of you doing double that to them.
Right.
Now, this is the man who has made nations to shake, kingdoms to shake. Just like how Russia shaking now. Right? China soon get their time to shake too. This is the man who is going to make, who has made kingdom to shake. The Most High says, whip or double, the same thing when do to you, do twice unto him. Right? Do twice unto her. Continue.
That's one, verse 7.
Hold on.
So yeah, it says chapter 6.
Yeah, we can stick it right there. We can read Jeremiah 51 and 37.
Another one gone. Another one gone. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51 and verse 37. And Babylon shall become heaps, a dwelling place for dragons, and astonishment, and an hissing without an inhabitant.
Well, you think of America with so many, which is the second most populous country in the world, becoming a place without people living there. That's what he's telling you. So that's what I said when I said earlier. I said maybe that's why the Most High allow the powers of the world to shift to the west, because when the time comes to destroy Babylon, he doesn't want to do it in the east. It's gonna cause too much stench in the east. Put that one side on the next side of the earth, because it is gonna be so destroyed that nobody can live in it. You're talking about a big piece of land, you know, man, which for centuries no one will be living in it. Left to birds and just the same thing that they have done to other kingdoms. When you go through the Amazon jungle, you know, there are many cities they find on the bush in the Amazon jungle, you know, which they have made, which they have laid to waste.
God.
It is not even on the radar of things that has happened. But they know about it because whichever soldiers of them would have come this way, the captains of the ship would have put things like those in their log, which is why most of them captains' log there is not any public document even unto today, because there are things in them which they read and they know. If you read some of those logs, you're going to know that they knew that they were fighting the children of Israel. They know that.
Right.
But they don't want you to know that. So a lot of them, still on they are in museums, but they are in some areas which the public does not have any access to. So the Most High is going to make them heap, dwelling place for dragon. That is what is going to happen to the land that they hold. But the rulers who have made it to the underground bunkers, they are the ones who are going to become your what you call them?
Nursing mothers and nursing fathers.
Good. All right. Which one we can use to show that now? It's in Zephaniah or Zechariah, where that one that says, I will get fishers and then hunters.
So, okay, 1 second. Jeremiah 16 and verse 16.
16 and 16.
16 and 16, sir.
All right, what it says. Let's see if it's it.
Another one gone. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 16 and 16. Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord, and they shall fish them. And after will I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks.
That's the important part. The holes of the rocks. Who will be hiding in the hole of the rocks? Them same kings and queens and top military men who are to become your nursing fathers and nursing mothers. When that nuclear holocaust take place, they will be under the ground hiding. And the Most High is going to send hunters for them. And that is where we now come in and get our glory after Christ don't take the glory in destroying their kingdom. Then our glory will be into hunting them down, so that they do not rise in the earth to make cities ever again. Right? That's how it is. All right, time of one us. Questions?
No questions.
I even comments.
Sir.
All right, so by the way, we have any question? Any online question? No, I don't see any. Oh, you can get the thing and post it.
Oh, the sign up sheet.
Yeah.
Gone, sir.
All right, let's post the sign-in sheet. Find it?
cancer. Yeah, man. I just the net move a little bit. Slow. Well, not the net. The computer move a little bit slow because I have so much window open, sir. Slack, yeah. Cancer.
Okay, nice. All right, so with that, we pass the class to Police and Officer Kayad one.
All right, clap it up. All right, these are the ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or a sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, you can find this in the book of Numbers, chapter 18 and verse 21, and Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 to 10, means tenth in the Hebrew and is pronounced ma'aishara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you'd like to give. Upcoming holy convocation, that is the memorial of the blowing of the trumpets, and that is next week. You understand? First day of the 7th month, the 25th of September. You can find this in the book of Leviticus 23 and 24 to 25. Reminding Akiam and Aquatiam to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for ISUPK events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he needs to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. And with that, we say I imagine, which means to stand. Banawa.
Banawa.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Face the east.
So,
come on to face the east. Not hearing you.
Oh, Slakia, Chase, well, Slakia.
Yeah, I was saying, come on, you
that?
to come on to face the east.
Oh, yeah, man, cancer. Slakia, it must have never went through. Sorry upon your Akodam, which means turn and face the east.
Right.
Yeah, man, you said, sir, Slakia. Let me start over. Abanawa.
Abanawa.
Shabbat Shemaya.
Shabbat Shemaya.
Wadash.
Wadash.
Aya.
Aya.
Shamka.
Shamka.
Yahawa.
Yahawa.
Malakwatka.
Malakwatka.
Taba'a.
Taba'a.
Ratazaka.
Ratazaka.
Aya.
Aya.
Aisha.
Aisha.
Ba'arataza.
Ba'arataza.
Kawa.
Kawa.
Aya.
Aya.
Bashamaya.
Bashamaya.
Natananawa.
Natananawa.
Lakam.
Lakam.
Kal.
Kal.
Yawam.
Yawam.
Wasalaklanawa.
Wasalaklanawa.
Kawabwatnawa.
Kawabwatnawa.
Kasalaknawa.
Kasalaknawa.
Kawabwatianawa.
Kawabwatianawa.
Wala'a.
Wala'a.
Tabaya anawa.
Abayana,
Banasaya one,
Banasaya one,
Abal,
Abal,
Awashina one,
Awashina,
Mayan,
Mayan,
Rai,
Rai,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Laka,
Aka,
Amalakwat,
Amalakwat,
Wa'ala,
Wahala,
Watapara,
Watapara,
La Iwalamiam,
Iwalamiam,
Aman.
Aman. In English, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh.
Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts.
Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts,
as we forgive our debtors.
as we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory.
For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory.
Forever so be.
Forever so be it.
For the curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh.
Listen to us now.
Listen to us now.
Right now.
Right now.
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction.
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction.
To the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets.
To the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets.
The teachers.
The teachers.
The princes.
The princes.
The priests.
The priests.
The Israelite brothers and the school.
The Israelite brothers and the school.
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen.
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen.
And shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel.
And shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel.
That refuse to give to the school.
That refuse to give to the school.
Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary.
Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary.
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the Edomites.
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the Edomites.
And the nations.
And the nations.
And their drug dealers.
And their drug dealers.
The court system.
The court system.
The prison system.
The prison system.
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood.
All the governments of our enemies.
All the governments of our enemies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Roman Catholic Church.
Roman Catholic Church.
The Pope.
The Pope.
Islam.
Islam.
Christianity.
Christianity.
Egyptology.
Egyptology.
Militia.
Militia.
Ku Klux Klan.
Ku Klux Klan.
Aryan Nation.
Aryan Nation.
Skinheads.
Skinheads.
Pasikomatazi.
Pasikomatazi.
The gay movement.
The gay movement.
The lesbian movement.
The lesbian movement.
Spies.
Spies.
Workers of witchcraft.
Workers of witchcraft.
NASA space program.
NASA space program.
Army.
Army.
Navy.
Navy.
Air Force.
Air Force.
Marines.
Marines.
Wall Street.
Wall Street.
Open up the internet and the airways.
Open up the internet and the airways.
The cable access channels and the radio channels.
The cable access channels and the radio channels.
Convict the spirit of any of thy people.
Convict the spirit of any of thy people.
That seek to stop us.
That seek to stop us.
And bring swift destruction to all the heathen.
And bring swift destruction to all the heathen.
That stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words.
That stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words.
Throughout the planet Earth.
Throughout the planet Earth.
Let loose all the plagues.
Let loose all the plagues.
Cause them to go to and fro.
Cause them to go to and fro.
Through the earth.
Through the earth.
And consume them.
And consume them.
Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer.
Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer.
Let Yahweh, Michael, and Gabriel.
Let Yahweh, Michael, and Gabriel.
Come down with the flying saucer.
Come down with the flying saucers.
And punish all the heathens.
And punish all the heathens.
That come up against us as we speak thy word.
That come up against us as we speak thy word.
Cause it to be known by all.
Cause it to be known by all.
That it is the angels that hath done it.
That it is the angels that has done it.
Cause it to be spread through the media.
Cause it to be spread through the media.
Throughout the whole world.
Through the whole world.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
In the name of Yahweh, I thank you always so be.
In the name of Yahweh, I thank you always so be it. Alright, this is the prayer for the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Basham Yahweh Shai.
Basham Yahweh Shai.
Baba Kwasha.
Baba Kwasha.
Nathan Lanawa.
Nathan Lanawa.
Hakak.
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 Larapa'a.
Larapa'a.
Kalmakala.
Kalmakala.
Wakal Madawa.
Wakal Madawa.
Hakak.
Hakak.
Lata'a.
Lata'a.
Amatazaraya.
Amatazaraya.
Hakak.
Hakak.
La Akwaya.
La Akwaya.
Amathiam.
Amathiam.
Hakak.
Hakak.
Arakawat.
Arakawat.
Atama'ala.
Atama'ala.
Lagarashan.
Lagarashan.
Washam Yahweh.
Washam Yahweh.
Tuwara Aman.
Tuwara Aman. In English, Yahweh in the name of Yahweh.
Yahweh in the name of Yahweh.
Please give us the power.
Please give us the power.
The power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease.
The power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to raise the dead.
The power to raise the dead.
The power against unclean spirits.
The power against unclean spirits.
To cast them out in the name of Yahweh.
To cast them out in the name of Yahweh.
Thank you, so be it.
Thank you, so be it. All right, this is the prayer for the blessings to bless Israel. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Basham Yahweh.
Basham Yahweh.
Barak Lanawa.
Barak Lanawa.
Wayasharala.
Wayasharala.
Wa'a.
Wa'a.
Wayatsaparia.
Wayatsaparia.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapa'a.
Rapa'a.
Hagan.
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 Commanding General YAHANNA.
Commanding General YAHANNA.
Generals.
The generals.
Captains.
The captains.
The officers.
The officers.
The troopers.
The troopers.
The young men and the sisters.
The young men and the sisters.
Basham Yahweh.
Basham Yahweh.
Tuwara Aman.
Tuwara Aman. All right, in English, what you have just said is, Lord, in the name of Jesus, bless us and Israel and the school. Bless, heal, shield, protect our loved ones in the name of Jesus. Thank you so much.
Sir, which means the third. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher, men of Israel. Imani Shabbat. Barak. Yahweh Basham Yahweh Shai Barakatam.
Yahweh Basham Yahweh Shai Barakatam.
Yadimata. Sir, which means the turn. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters, men of Israel. Imani Shabbat. Imani. Barak. Yahweh Shamar Alatan Basham Yahweh Shai. Yadimata. Class dismissed.
All right, soldier, just sign out.
All right, sir. Yeah, man. No, sir.
All right, shalom.
Shalom, sir. All right, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share on all social media platforms. You understand? You know what I mean? If you have a Facebook page, share it. If you have share it also in Facebook groups. And also, if you have a WhatsApp account, you know what I mean, you can create a WhatsApp group, understand, and share it in that group and add your contacts to the group as well. Understand? And with that, we're going to play some music and then sign out.
Yeah. On 44 shit, you know what I mean?
busy, man, busy, man. Look, when that shit drop, you step all the way on their neck, step on their neck and their head with that shit.
Fine in, I ain't show no mercy, we gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it, got it out the mud, straight to glory. They don't know how I get it, nice, but he don't show them skills, how I show them skills. He ride, but he don't work the wheel, how I work the wheel. They mad, up some solid, circle tight, yeah, vacuum seal. No, they want my life, I ain't worried, I got rank for real. I got real soldiers, kill for me, nigga, watch yourself. They say you been in beast mode lately, you is not yourself. When you dropping that fire, precious marriage, they inquiring. They can't stop what's coming, but I see them conspiring. Cross the line, them firing. This bitch here, finna break the spin. No kindness, I don't trust you, circle small. You can keep your features. Me and my niggas don't keep no secrets. In the field like Jeepers Creepers, say they want some smoke, dog. Why bro, these chimney swings coming like we coming, you can't even count. These niggas don't run it like we running, bitch, don't even start. Bitch, I'm with my niggas till the end, till them do us part. So if you wanna leave, you can leave, bitch, bless your heart. Fine in, I ain't show no mercy, we gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it, got it out the mud, straight to glory. They don't know how I feel. He nice, but he don't show them skills, how I show them skills. He ride, but he don't work the wheel, how I work the wheel. Ooh, I got a man, circle tight, yeah, vacuum seal. I heard they want my life, I ain't worried, I got rate for real. Take over in effect, yeah, I'm fully focused. You might not see it on me, just know it's women, that bitch fully loaded. Ooh, yeah, we up and rolling. Told them I need major motion. Think I'm joking, I'ma school them niggas like they baby Jody. Got it out the dust, not too clean, don't know why they hate me. What you want out life, dog? Guns and butter, baby boy. U.P.K top, dog. Certified road runner. I'ma turn that line into a damn tank. I got choppers stashed in the attic like they Air Frank. They had that shit on lock till I snapped on them like bolt cutters. You cannot play both sides